It was because you're given and directing information and creating habits of repetitive habits of doing things right, the right way with hard work and a work ethic, and your demeanor and character has a lot to do with how you're thought of as a leader. There's different types. I wasn't a holler scream vocal guy, led more by example and actions, but it is a vital component of the position of playing quarterback because of a trust factor and them believing, your teammates believing in you and believing in the message that you're sending and the examples that you set. That was instilled in me in a young age at Seabrook Park under Arthur Monk Smith, who was the director of Seabrook Park, and it carried on into junior high school. When I graduated junior high into high school to E. Smith, that role that followed me from Seabrook through junior high school through to E. Smith paid great dividends as I went on to Michigan State. It's belief or trust. Believe that you're doing everything you can to set an example, set the right example, and them trusting that the direction that you're going or that you're trying to take them from a team perspective is vital. And as I said, you know, some guys lead through verbal, boisterous, rah-rah, and some people can command respect without demanding respect, and I think that's vital, a vital portion of it. Well, teamwork basically comes from the environment, that the culture that is created by the team concept. It's we before I, selflessness, and being able to purposely give of yourself for the good of the team rather than the glory for one individual. I've always followed the mandate that when there's glory for one, there's glory for all. If there's glory for none, there's no glory at all. The concept of trying to make sure that the environment that you're in and the culture that's created by the coach, that everybody buys in, and you don't have the backbiters, the ones standing outside the line and say, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, or we should have done this, or we should have done that. The buy-in is critical, and the example set by the leaders in that culture and create that environment and everybody buys in is paramount. Probably the Ohio State game in 1966 when we played in Columbus in a monsoon. We won the game 11-8. We were number one in the country at that point, and Notre Dame was number 2 in AP-UP polls as they did it back then. And they played an ACC school that week and won 50-6, and we played a Big Ten school, a rival, Ohio State, and won 11-8, and it flipped, and that's what started the controversy near the end of the year of who was 1 and who was 2. We were down to Ohio State, and they had built their whole season around beating us because we beat them the year before in East Lansing. I can remember the drive and the completion of the pass that took us down there to to win that game. It was a very special event. And as soon as the game was over, the sun came out as bright as the sky is open, and the sun came out as bright as all get out. I've been asked a lot about the Notre Dame game and all of the hoopla building up to it, number 1 versus number 2, and number 2 versus number 1, Terry Hanratty and Jim Seymour, and my teammates Bubba Smith and George Webster and Clinton Jones and Gene Washington and Bob Apisa. It was built and still to this day stands the test of greatness. What I remember least about it is that it was really cold. It was a really cold day, and I spent half of the afternoon trying to get away from Alan Page, who was playing for Notre Dame. It was really a physical, hard-fought game, and unbeknownst to us at the time, the Big Ten we knew we had a no-repeat rule. We had gone to the Rose Bowl the year before, so you couldn't go 2 years in a row because of academic reasons at that time. And Notre Dame had another game to play. They had their rival against USC to play after we played that game. We didn't know that at the time. And so when the game ended in a tie, it was I remember standing there and Duffy and I going over, when we get the ball back, the last 8 plays, what we were gonna do to get the ball in the field goal range. And as we're standing there talking, I started to hear this fervor in the crowd, and they wasn't trying to go score to win the game. They were trying to run out the clock. And so as we're standing there talking, it dawned on me when I looked up at the scoreboard, it was under a minute. So we're not going to get the ball back. We're not going to get the ball. And sure enough, they at the end they just ran the ball into the line and didn't attempt to score because they had another game to play. They didn't want to take a chance of losing the game, I guess was their thinking. And when it was over, we were walking off the field, and I was like, that's it. And when we got in the locker room, Duffy congratulated us and said, a tie is like kissing your sister. But it was I remember the hitting part of it and the competition. I just wish we had won the game. I said earlier that I've received more compliments for the game that ended in a tie than for all the games that I won. but it has stood the test of time as the game of the century. A lot of great players in the game, and the fact that it ended in a tie, it has endured. Oh boy, it was so many years, so many memories. I think the 1980 season in Atlanta, Falcons with Steve Barkowski and Junior Miller and Alfred Jackson and Alfred Jenkins and Wallace Francis, we set a NFL record for points scored, lost in the divisional round of the playoffs, lost in the conference round of the playoffs, the game before the one to go to the Super Bowl. The other one was when I was the offensive coordinator at the Los Angeles Rams, when Eric Dickerson broke O.J. Simpson's 2,000-yard rushing record. It was great satisfaction. And Joe Montana in the 1993 season in Kansas City, when we won the AFC championship, won all our games and played Buffalo in the AFC championship game up in Buffalo. And it was minus 17 degrees, and Bruce Smith sacked Joe, and he hit his head on the artificial surface that was frozen and concrete, and he got concussed and couldn't finish the game. Those kind of stand out, but mostly more what the team accomplishments were, winning 13 and 14 games in a 16-game schedule in Kansas City for 7, 8 years in a row, battling against John Elway in Denver up there in Mile High Stadium. Brings back quite a few memories. The one that was important was when I was with the New York Jets, was we beat the New England Patriots in the playoffs to knock them out of the deal. That was a good feeling, yeah.